I'm really pleased this morning to be able to have a chat with Beth and Will, Beth Stirling and Will Jowett, who are two of our soloists in our Crowning Glory concert in Alton on the 27th of June. I'm going to ask Beth and Will just to tell us a little bit about themselves to start with, where they're at in their studies. So they're both at the Guildhall School of Music and Drama, and where they hope that might sort of take them next. And then we'll talk a little bit more about their careers to date, and then we'll get on to talk a little bit about the music for the concert. So, Beth, could I go with you first? I mean, where are you at in your studies, and what's the plan?
Yeah, absolutely. The plan, that's a big question. So just bear with me while I gather my thoughts on that. But at the moment, I'm in my first year of Master of Performance at Guildhall with Will. And yeah, it's been a very busy year, filled with lots of engagements and lots of work both inside and outside of Guildhall. So it's my first year of masters, and I have another year to go, which will start back in September. And then after that, I suppose it's just I will be planning on applying for young artist programs, to go and try to get a career in opera. Really is kind of my goal. But I love performing in recitals, so I'd really like to try my hand at arranging some recitals across the UK and maybe in mainland Europe as well. I love oratorio work as well. So these concerts are just great fun for me. I really like delving into the texts and getting to perform with other soloists and the chorus, of course, which plays such a vital role in a lot of oratorio works, and performing with orchestra or organ, whichever it may be. So just kind of trying everything really. I really like just doing everything. I like the variety of doing recitals, oratorio, and opera. So in the future, that's kind of the goal, just kind of make a living doing all of it.
Great, fantastic. Well, good luck to you. And
Thank
I
you.
wanted to ask you both because, Will, I think you're also doing the Masters of Performance, aren't you? And
Yes.
it's not therefore oriented to any particular kind of performance. I mean, you could be mainly an opera singer or mainly an oratorio singer or mainly a recital performer. I mean, it covers the whole field, does it?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that's what I love about the course at Guildhall is they really cater to your individual interests. Um, we have so many interests spanning across our year. I know some people like to specialize in early music and some in contemporary music. And yeah, Guildhall's really accommodating, which is really refreshing to see in a conservatoire course. So yeah, very, very eclectic mix.
So you're also in the first year of that program, are you?
I am, yes. I started with Beth in September last year, which feels like an age ago now. Um, and yeah, I've loved it. I did my undergraduate in Manchester at the Royal Northern College of Music, um, and finished that in September of last year and started Guildhall in the same month, actually. And yeah, I've loved my time at Guildhall so far. I've been able to perform in some historical performance scenes, which was a real highlight of mine. I really loved sort of delving into that world of performance practice and ornamentation. Um, and funnily enough, coming to Guildhall has marked my sort of first foray into the oratorio genre in terms of solo performance. Um, I was part of the Halle Choir when I was in Manchester, so I got to sing in the choir for a lot of these pieces. So it's lovely now to be on the other side of things and to be giving the solos a go, and yeah, just giving it my best shot, really.
Great, very good. And Beth, I think you were in Birmingham, is that right? Before you
Yes,
came to
exactly. I was
London.
in Birmingham for my undergraduate at the
Yeah.
conservatoire there for 4 years and finished in June last year and then started at Guildhall in September.
Right. Okay. So both of you descending on London from England's two
Indeed,
of England's other great cities.
indeed.
And what's it like trying to sort of find somewhere to live in London as a student? I mean,
Ooh.
It's
Very
funny
good question.
actually. It's funny because Will and I actually, without realizing, ended up in exactly the same area in London. And I mean, London is such a huge city, and I can only speak for myself, but it was quite daunting coming to such a huge city. And I mean, your average kind of travel time anywhere is about an hour. And you just kind of quite quickly get used to just the fact that it's going to take you an hour to get anywhere. Um, but yeah, I mean, finding anywhere to live in London is quite challenging. It's very competitive, and there's always people looking for places, and there's always things going, but the market moves very fast. So yeah, if you're not fast, you're last, really.
And Will, do you get help from the Guildhall? I mean, do they have a sort of a range of places they can sort of point you at?
Yes, they definitely have a number of services that are available if you're struggling for both kind of maintenance costs and also accommodation. They've got like a good hub of sort of links to direct you to different organizations. I know that they also offer an access bursary, which I know is very, very important for some people just to be able to study here. And they're often, try to be as generous as they can with their scholarships as well. So I think, yes, there is support out there. But again, as Beth was saying, it's very competitive and everyone really needs something. So it's a case of trying to distribute support the best that they can. But yes, it's nice to have Beth in the local area as well because London is so vast and we sort of both yeah, it was a very strange moment when we both realised we lived about 1 minute away from each other, but lovely at the same time. Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, we've established that it's quite a precarious venture that you're embarked on for in all sorts of
indeed.
ways. When did you, I mean, Beth, when did it first cross your mind that you might actually try to make a career of being a singer?
Oh gosh, yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I music was always a really big part of my life growing up. My mum had me started in piano lessons at 6, and then by 7 or 8, I joined the RSNO Junior Chorus in Glasgow. So through that involvement, I started to kind of foster the love of singing, and through the RSNO, actually. Scottish Opera. When I was 12, were looking to cast a little girl in the role of little girl in James Macmillan's opera in Is de Castro. And I was very fortunate through a series of auditions to get cast as the understudy, which meant I could take part in 2 performances of what was called the Unwrapped performances. So you got to see the kind of behind the scenes of how the opera worked with the orchestra, and I got to perform my little excerpt that is in the opera. And I think at that point I'd never seen an opera before. I had obviously done some stuff with the orchestra, with the RSNO, but I didn't really know anything about opera. I loved drama, I loved musical theatre, but had never experienced opera. And then all of a sudden, these amazing singers were able to express themselves so passionately and with music that I loved. And I was just so astonished and so grateful to have been a part of that project. And so from 12 years old, at that point, I turned to my mum and I said, I want to be an opera singer. And that was it. So ever since the age of 12, I've been working towards that career. And I was really fortunate to have had that opportunity. And I think about it very fondly.
So obviously, I'm down to ask you, what did your mum say?
I think my mum I think she did what you often do to small children who have just come up with something new that they want to do, and she went, "Oh, that sounds wonderful. Yes, let's do that." And I don't think she necessarily thought that I would kind of pursue it all this length of time, but I think she was thrilled. I mean, my mum's musical herself and sings in the RSNO chorus herself, so I think I think she was very pleased that I wanted to pursue a career in music.
Good. Oh, that's terrific. That's a great story. So, Will,
Yeah.
can you beat that? That's a good
I
one.
know. I'm trying to think of a story that contended that. Well, I very much similar to Beth. Music was always part of my life growing up, and something I think I actually just took for granted a little bit. That was always it always played a part in things, and I was in school choirs from as young as I possibly could be. But it wasn't until relatively later that I realised that the conservatoire system existed. I was pretty set on going to university to study something like geography, or something purely academic. And then I think it was at about 16, I started peripatetic voice lessons at my high school. And my teacher said, you can go to university just for singing. And I was gobsmacked. And as soon as I found out, I was like, well, I'm just going to go for that. That's all I really wanted to do. And it was from that moment that I sort of relentlessly pursued it. And I was lucky enough to spend a few years at the Junior Royal Welsh College of Music and Drama, in Cardiff, where I'm from. And that was a really, really good grounding in what a conservatoire education would look like, and really whetted my appetite for it. And from there, I didn't look back, and it was RNCM for me that the start of my journey.
Well, that's another great story, and another example of a teacher having
Yes,
a kind of huge influence. I
yes,
hope you're still in touch with the teacher, and the teacher takes some satisfaction from what you're now doing.
yes, yeah, absolutely, yeah. It's so strange to look back on that sort of young version of me who had no idea of this whole world that was out there. But it's really very satisfying to look back on, and I count myself very lucky to have had someone that early on that showed belief and also showed that this sort of career path was possible, especially in today's world where it seems so impossible sometimes.
Well, of course, our conductor, our music director, Richard Pierce, whom you all know, is a professor at the Guildhall and spends a lot of time working, coaching young singers. So it's great for us actually in the choir to be working with someone like that, and it's great to be working from time to time when we get the opportunity with young singers like yourselves. I mean, it's always an inspiration to when you turn up and deliver these astonishing performances. So we're really looking forward to it. But maybe we should talk a little bit about the music, and obviously the main the main piece is the Mozart Coronation Mass. Have you sung that before, Beth? Is that a first time for you, or have you done it before?
I have done it before, yes. It feels like a very long time ago, so it's very much kind of picking up an old score and coming back to it, with a fresh set of eyes and some fresh annotations as well.
And what about you, Will? Are you familiar with it?
This is my first time performing it. I'd heard of it in the past, and I'd heard uh, the famous Agnus Dei sounding just like the Novus Ordo. So I'm very looking forward to hearing Beth singing that. But yeah, my first foray into this piece. But I'm very excited that it's with you guys and with such a great team
Well,
behind
it's a
me.
terrific piece, and it's one of those pieces that they may not sort of realize that they know it. And as
Mm.
you say, when you
Yeah,
get to some of those really sort of familiar bits, it's super. But Richard's put together a really interesting program. The concert's called Crowning Glory, and it's mainly kind of music that was written for or around coronations. I mean, actually, the Mozart wasn't written for a particular coronation, as it happens, but the Handel and the Boyce both were King George's two and three, respectively. What about the Boyce? I mean, the Boyce is an amazing piece, actually. The King shall rejoice. Are you familiar with that one, Beth? Let me go ask you first.
I haven't sung it before, but I am familiar with it, and yeah, it's a spectacular piece of music, really. Yeah.
It really is. How about you, Will? Is it a new one on you?
yeah, it's a new one for me, but I think I actually might have heard it in an amateur choral society back home. But I don't think I realised what I was listening to when I was listening to it. I just remember enjoying the sounds and enjoying the acoustics as well. Um, so yeah, both new pieces for me, but that makes it equally as exciting.
Yeah.
And I love that the three other soloists are from the Guildhall. I think like we're going to have a great rapport,
Yeah.
and I'm really really excited to sing in particular the Benedictus from the Mozart because it's such a masterclass in ensemble singing. I think you have to have such sensitivity and awareness of the fellow soloists, and it's a beautiful movement. And I think if we can pull that off well, I think it will hopefully be a crowd pleaser. But we'll see. I don't want to speak too soon.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. And it's a great place to sing, actually, St. Lawrence Church in Alton. It's a nice, kind of intimate church, but
Lovely.
with a good, a fabulous organ and a very sort of strong musical tradition. So I'm sure you'll enjoy singing there. Well, thank you so much. I mean, I'm really grateful to you for sparing the time, and really looking forward to seeing you in not that long now. Just sort of less than 3 weeks. So we'll see you then, and good luck with everything. I mean, I'm sure in the meantime you've got a lot going on. You've got end of sort of summer term is usually a bit sort of nail bitey. Have you
That's
got
exactly it.
exams? Exams, or was it performances? Or Will, what about
Beth,
you?
after you. Okay, I'll go first. I actually have four performances of Guildhall School Opera Makers, which are three new contemporary operas. So due to that project, my final recital is a bit later in the year, but nonetheless, really looking forward to those performances, and then to sort of come back down to earth with the Mozart coronation. It'll be a lovely sort of development of performances. So yeah, that's what
Great,
I'm up to.
great, and last word from you then, Beth.
Um, similar. I'm heading down to Snape this afternoon
Oh,
for two performances of Pelléas et Mélisande as part of the Opera Festival. So that's kind of taking up this week as lots of rehearsals for that as part of the Opera Festival. But my final recital is next week. So just kind of juggling it all together, but it'll be nice to kind of be able to relax with the Mozart and come and join the wonderful Waverley Singers.
terrific. Well, thank you both again. Look forward to seeing you on the 27th, and all the best in the meantime.
Thank you
Thanks
very
very
much. It
much.
was been
You
a
too.
pleasure.